Each week, WandaVision reveals new and more interesting layers to its strange TV-inspired reality. Episode 5 is certainly no exception, with plenty of hidden pop culture and MCU references. Here are a few Easter eggs you likely missed in Episode 5 of WandaVision. When we return to WandaVision's strange sitcom reality and on a very special episode, Wanda, Vision, and all the residents of Westview have moved into the primetime programming of the 80s. In particular, the intro borrows from Family Ties. Among other things, Family Ties is known for making the young Michael J. Fox famous even before he became a time traveler in 1985's Back to the Future. The most blatant pull from the series is the initially colorless portrait that begins to be colored in by a paintbrush controlled by Wanda. Family Ties intro for its first 3 seasons included a similar portrait. It's a nifty visual allusion to the way Wanda colored in the gray and lifeless Vision that viewers briefly spotted at the end of WandaVision's 4th episode. On a Very Special Episode has its share of 80s references, but they don't all stay in the 80s. When Agnes visits Wanda and Vision, she tells them she stopped by on her way to Jazzercise. Founded in the late 60s and still around today, Jazzercise hit its peak in the mid-80s. We get another purely 80s reference toward the end of the episode. In the kitchen, Wanda tells Vision,
"Well, life moves pretty fast out in the suburbs."
It sounds a lot like Matthew Broderick's famous quote from 1986's Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
But some of these references don't really find homes in the 80s. Early in the episode, Agnes yells, "Fussy babies meet buns of steel." The Buns of Steel workout videos, while technically originating in the late 80s, didn't really become a craze until the early 90s. We get a similar moment when Norm references a catchphrase that hit its peak in the late 80s and 90s.
What do you think, Norm? Should we surf the internet?
Cowabunga, dude!
Cowabunga Dude is most associated with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and to a lesser extent off-brand Simpsons merchandise.
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Huh?
These blurrings between 80s and 90s pop culture could be intentional. They could be a sign that just as Vision is becoming more aware of Wanda's illusions, the integrity of her dream world is deteriorating. In the 2016 Vision comic series, Vision lives in the suburbs with a synthezoid wife, son, and daughter. They also eventually have a synthezoid dog named Sparky. Not only is WandaVision Sparky a callback to the comic series, but his close call with the kitchen's power outlet is as well. Like the Sparky of WandaVision, the Sparky of the comics initially meets a sad, though much more brutal, end. However, he's eventually brought back to the land of the living. Ironically, considering Wanda's decision not to revive the Pooch in On a Very Special Episode, Scarlet Witch is one of the heroes who could bring the flying Pooch back to life. In On a Very Special Episode, WandaVision's strange advertisers are back. This time, the ad is for Lagos, a paper towel brand. Showing Lagos wiping up an identical spill to what the leading brand is trying and failing to clean, the ad mirrors bounty commercials of the 80s that touted their paper towels the quicker picker-upper. The name Lagos is a blatant reference to Captain America's Civil War. It's Wanda who unintentionally incites the film's conflict when she accidentally kills Wakandan volunteers in the Nigerian city of Lagos. Rather than calling Lagos a quicker picker-upper, the ad ends with the slogan,
"Lagos, for when you make a mess, you didn't mean to."
Fittingly, the juice that the towels clean up resembles blood. One thing that's easy to miss about the ad is the reference to what's going on with Vision. Just before the end of the commercial, the husband knocks over a glass of beer. The wife hands him a few towels as the narrator says, "Husbands can use it too, you know." This could reflect not only how Vision begins to assert himself, but how Episode 5 shows he has a degree of control over the illusions. For example, he's able to temporarily free Norm from Wanda's telepathy. This may also be why Agnes is so flustered early in the episode when she isn't sure whether she's supposed to hold the babies, because she's getting conflicting signals from Vision and Wanda. And then, of course, there's the reveal at the end of On a Very Special Episode that will doubtless go down as one of the biggest TV moments of 2021. The doorbell rings as Wanda and Vision argue, and after Wanda answers the door, we're greeted by a familiar face, but familiar in a way that we don't expect. Before we see the visitor's face, we see the back of his head, which sports a head of hair that looks a lot like the one belonging to Pietro Maximoff, Wanda's brother who dies heroically in Avengers Age of Ultron. We are indeed greeted by Wanda's brother, but a different Pietro than the one most viewers had to have been expecting. Instead of Aaron Taylor Johnson, who plays Pietro in the MCU film, Wanda finds herself facing Evan Peters, who plays Peter Maximoff in 2014's X-Men Days of Future Past, as well as the final 2 films of Fox's X-Men franchise. Not only does this have potentially huge consequences for the fabric of the MCU, and not only is it an instant classic fourth wall breaking moment, but it's an absolutely perfect homage to the sitcom. As Darcy points out as she notices the change, Pietro Maximoff has been recast, alluding to the fact that American sitcoms are famous for their sometimes abrupt recasting of characters. One of the most well-remembered examples of this comes from a sitcom WandaVision mirrors in its second episode, Bewitched. The main character's husband, Darren, was recast when Dick York was replaced by Dick Sargent in the series' 6th season. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite WandaVision moments are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.